Hello everyone, welcome. I am happy that you are here today joining me. This is Patty Bennett. We are going to be making this fabulous double circle fun fold card. I made up that name. I don't really know if it has a name. I am actually live. Today is Friday, June 3rd, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm on Facebook Live. If you've found me there, then you are joining me live and I will be able to see your comments. If you have found me on YouTube or my blog, that means you're watching a replay, which is great too. You can use hashtag replay and I will know to look for your comments later. So tell me hello if you're here watching live. Hi, Mary, Tina, Karen, Deb, Diana, and 28 other people, it says. That's fabulous. I'm so glad that you're all here. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Shan and Julia. Hey, Linda from Manitoba. Awesome. Hi, Kimberly. We are going to be making this today. Let me just show you again in case you missed the very beginning. Isn't this cool? And I don't know if it has a name, so I'm calling it the double circle fun fold. It could be a trifold. It could be just a fun fold, but since there's a circle here and a circle cut out here, I called it a double circle. What do you think? Do you like it? I think it's so pretty. Hello everyone, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, please let me know that because I love to give just a special shout out, especially if it's your first time. Hey, Annette from Australia, Julia, Patty, Joni. Hi everybody. Hi Deb, thank you. So glad you are enjoying this idea. So we are going to just go quickly through the parts and how to score it and whatnot, and then I'm actually going to make the whole thing start to finish. Well, if you want me to. I mean, if you feel like you have seen enough and you think, oh yeah, I can figure this out, then that's fine as well. But otherwise, if you want more details, like step by step by step, I will do that after this initial sort of part. Hello everyone, thank you for joining live. I also wanted to show you this. It's the same sort of supplies, the same Abigail Rose suite from Stampin' Up. It was on my blog, pattystamps.com, on May 16th, and it is also a fun fold. And I have a video the same day, May 16th, on pattystamps.com. So if you're interested in that one and you didn't see it, it's sort of a companion to this card. So I thought I would just grab that and show you that one in case you missed it, because I think it's really, really pretty. So these supplies are in the Stampin' Up catalog, pages 56 and 57 in our current annual catalog. It's called the Abigail Rose Suite, and it has the designer paper that we're going to look at. It has ribbon, it has the stamp set and the dies, which you can buy at a discount in the bundle. So those are the items in this suite. And I did try to kind of stick with this palette just because when I get something new, I kind of like to just go with what Stampin' Up has shown us, and then I start to branch out other colors, other products, mix and match, you know, etc. So that's why you'll kind of see these same colors that were in the suite. They are in this card, basically. You'll see I punched it up a little. You know, I've added the cherry cobbler, which I think just gives it a really fun, kind of a vintage, but a little pepped up. I don't know. Do you think? I like it. Hi, good morning. Oh, good. Kimberly says she's getting ideas. That's awesome. Okay, Debbie says the more instructions, the better. That's fine. That's fine. I know sometimes people say, you know, oh, I can figure it out. All I need is like the dimensions of where to score it. I can do the rest. And then other people love to learn by hearing everything and seeing all the dimensions. So, you know, however you would like to do it, we're going to try to do both. So the paper in this Abigail Rose suite, I think, is gorgeous. There are some more muted kind of almost vintage, just softer tones. There are some brighter, more vibrant patterns. There's also this one, which I think is pale papaya, or it goes with flirty flamingo. It goes with calypso coral. You can see on this card that I was showing you, I used it with calypso coral, and it makes it kind of pop a little more. So that's just something to think about. Beautiful florals. You can color these. Oops, one's missing back here. Look. Ah, look at that. You can color these in. Aren't they pretty? I love that piece. You can also die cut if you wanted to. The dies, I'm pretty sure, let's look at this one. I'm pretty sure the leaf cuts out. Yes, so the leaf die will cut out that one if you want to. And then I'm going to show you how I die cut a piece to do all of these flowers. So let's look at that. So one of the pieces, and now it doesn't come with these squiggles, so kind of ignore that at the moment. So pretend this is like all one 12 by 12 piece, okay? One of the pieces looks like this, and it looks almost a little disjointed, like why doesn't that stem meet up with the flower, and why is that disjointed, and that one, and that one? So there's a reason that it looks like this, and it's because it matches up with this die from the Cottage Flowers bundle. So I'm going to place it right here so you can see. So do you see that? It will die cut all of those flowers and all of the leaves and some of the stems. And let me pull the card out. That is where I got all of these pieces. So you don't have to fussy cut if you want to use these smaller pieces in this. So now back to the reason that it has this squiggle, because you're probably thinking, what in the world? So I thought, well, there are several spots. So 1, 2, 3, partial 4, partial 5, partial 6 places where you can die cut these. But of course this piece of 12 by 12 is not going to go through your die cutting machine. At least I don't know of many die cutting machines where it would go through, right? So what I did was I kind of looked and I thought, how can I make the most out of this paper, get the most die cuts like this? And so I laid the die down in all the places and I made a mental note. So if you cut like this, you're going to have these 3 strips that will fit through a typical die cutting machine that has a little bit bigger than a 6-inch width. And you could always cut these down further, but here is, so here was this left side over here, and that's what I colored. I'll show you how I colored it, and then I die cut it. And that gave me all these pieces. I hope you're following along. I know this is kind of a lot of words all at once, but I'm trying to just describe to you the overview. I love to know when I start a project or I am learning from someone, I love to know the plan. I like to know where we're headed. So that's how I like to teach. I like to show you where we're going with all this, and then we make it. So I hope you find it helpful. Thanks. Hi, Holly. Hi, Patty. Well, I'm glad you think that's fabulous. Awesome. Hi, Patricia. So glad you're here. Kathy and Kathy, 2 Kathys. Thank you. Thanks, Paula. I'm glad you liked that tip. So we will do that. I'm just, like I said, giving you this overview so that you kind of have the plan. My brother calls me Patty Planner because I always had to know the plan growing up. Like if we were going to, our grandma's for Christmas or something, like I always had to know the plan. When are we going? How long will it be? When will we get there? How long are we staying? When are we coming home? What should I bring? So my brother calls me Patty Planner and it's stuck. It's just part of me. Oh, good, Diane. I'm glad you're enjoying the tips. Oh, good, good. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so that's that part. And I also used, so in addition to the Cottage Rose bundle that we looked at, I also used 2 other sets of dies, and I'll show you where I used them and how I used them. So we have Deckled Rectangles and stylish shapes. It's kind of hard to say. So Deckled Rectangle, this set, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sizes in here. And I think, did I use the biggest? Yes, this is the largest one. I'll show you this piece. It is, I have to get this. Where did that piece go? Oh, here. It was hiding. So it's a piece. It's 12 by 12, but it looks like an old ledger. So maybe from an old shop or a store, a doctor, I don't know. But it's like an old ledger, or maybe even just from a household. And so I used that piece and the largest decal and die cut it because I wanted it to kind of have that look of like an old piece of paper. This piece is this one, and I used the blending brushes to color it, and then I fussy cut. So we will do that. I'll show you that at the end. And I just overlaid it because I wanted color to peek through here. Isn't that fun? I think it's really cool. So that's the Deckled Rectangle dies. And then I used 2 of the circles. I think it's the 2 largest. Let me make sure. Yes. So the 2 largest, they happen to be 2.5 and 3 inches. I used the largest 2. So I die cut with the smaller one to make my opening. And I die cut just a piece of cherry cobbler with the big one. So this is the 3 inch. This is the 2.5. Okay, so I used those 2, the 2 largest. And then for this greeting, I used the, is it a banner, a flag? I guess it's a banner. Yeah, I guess we would call it a banner, right? I used the banner. Thank you, Tanya. Wendy says, I like Patty Planner. Oh, that's cute. Wendy says, if I'm lost with a new product, I think to myself, what would Patty do? I love that. You just made my day. That is so awesome. Thank you. Oh, good, Linda. I'm glad that that tip helped about cutting that big piece of 12 by 12. All right. So I think, did we go over most of the pieces then? You can see I've got, this was 1 pattern, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've used 5 patterns on 1 card. And then final step, I put some of those gorgeous new iridescent pearls. These are just out of this world gorgeous in person. So now we can make it, because now I've showed you the plan. I need to know the plan first. Oh, Donna, she just got a Stampin' Up box. That's awesome. Okay, well, you're not really missing too much, Donna, because I just showed the card and all the parts and pieces that I used to make it. Now we're going to make it. So you're just kind of right on time, actually. So if you are looking for all the dimensions, I have all of these dimensions in tomorrow's blog post. So June 4th is tomorrow, because this is live on the 3rd, and pattystamps.com is my blog. That's where you will find the pictures so you can pin them. You will find more details. You'll find some step-by-step photos, and you'll find the dimensions. But I'm just going to move my hands out of the way. If you would like to screenshot this or pause it and get that information right now, you are welcome to. And I just saw that my husband is watching. So hello, dear. Hope you're having a good Friday, honey. Yay, dimensions. Yes. Yes, I need to use the dimensions myself to make this, right? So I thought you might need the dimensions as well. Alrighty, so let's make it. I have all the parts kind of ready here, but we're still going to cut and score so that you can see that. Our cherry cobbler cardstock. So here's that decal die cut piece that I showed you for the inside, and our 2 pieces of designer paper, our circle, the greeting, and then this is what we're going to color to put on the very inside, so that'll kind of be last. And then remember I showed you that I colored and die cut for the front, so we're going to color, I think, would we have enough? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I can use up this piece right here in the bottom. So I think I'll color this and die cut that, and that's what we will use for the front. Alrighty, so those are all our parts. So we will start cutting. And I'll just say before we start, because people always ask, how come you have this ruler up at the top? This is from Amazon. I added it to the Stampin' Up! Trimmer because when you go to put your paper on here and you're looking for whatever, 4 1/4, 5 1/2, 3 1/4, whatever dimension, you've covered up the numbers. I have. We all would, right? That bothers me. And so I really wish Stampin' Up! Would go back to like our old trimmer where we had the numbers at the top. So I looked on Amazon. This is called a reverse self-adhesive ruler. And let me see. Hang on, I can reach it. I actually have the package. Mine came like this. This little, see, it's rolled up in there, and it's actually 12 inches long. So I just put it on and cut it where it would need to be. And it helps me tremendously. I don't know. I need those numbers up there. So there you go. There you go. Oh, Robin says this looks like Cajun Craze on the computer. Oh, okay. It is cherry cobbler. I'm sorry that it doesn't look correct, but it is cherry cobbler. I don't want to confuse anybody. All right, so our base card is 5 1/2 by 11. So this is different, right? This takes up, you can only get one out of a sheet of paper. So since our paper is already 11 inches, we're going to move this to 5 1/2, and we're just going to cut. Now I was able to get my circle out of this strip. So don't toss this piece. You can die cut your circle from that, okay? And then we are going to score at 2 1/2 and 6 3/4. So I do need to open up the arm. So measure twice, score once, 2 1/2, 6 3/4. 2 1/2. And remember, the Stampin' Up! Trimmer has the scoring and the cutting. So move that cutting blade way out of the way when you're scoring, just so you don't accidentally cut. 2 1/2 and 6 3/4. Okay, I think that's all we need this for because I pre-cut those other pieces of designer paper. Hi, Jan from Oregon. Or is it Jean? It's one of the two, huh? Thanks, Sonia. Hi, Donna. Oh, okay. I'm sorry it looks like Cajun Craze. I wonder if I have too many. Hang on, I'm just going to move that one light out of the way. Let's see if I had too much light in here. Let's just look for a second. I'm waiting for the feed to catch up. It really doesn't look any different. Okay, never mind. I just wondered if it was the light. Alrighty, so we will use our bone folder to crease both sides. So that's kind of the trifold part. Okay. And then we have our piece for the front, which can get glued on. There's nothing special that happens with that. And we're going to glue this one, but then we're going to die cut the circle out of the inside. Okay, we'll die cut that hole. So I'm going to use a liquid glue because you've heard me say this before. It gives you just that little extra chance to wiggle it right into place when you are trying to get a nice equal border all the way around. So if I were to use Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus, the minute I lay that down, it's going to stick. And if I didn't get a nice border all the way around, I'd be stuck. Haha, like sort of pun intended there. All right. So that allows me wiggle room. So now we're going to put this piece in here. And I'm putting glue all on here because I want the two circles, meaning when I die cut this with the circle die, it's going to cut through the designer paper and the cardstock at once. I want them to be stuck together. Of course, I could glue them afterwards, but what I found was this hole that I cut, I put it right there. I used it. So they were stuck together and it just kind of gave it like extra reinforcement. Then we'll go back to these stylish shapes. And remember I said we're using the largest two, which is 2.5 and 3 inches. And I already, just to save a tiny bit of time, did the 3-inch cherry cobbler one. So I'll leave that there. I am going to turn around and die cut this. And I think I just did it like, yeah, just the center as best you can. I didn't measure it. I just eyeballed it there. And you know I like to use my little Post-it flags to just hold it in place while I turn around and get to my die cutting machine. So I'm going to leave this right here. If you didn't get a screenshot earlier, you can do that now while I die cut this real quickly. And just a tip, I had it like this, but I didn't really tell you. Make sure that you leave it open. You don't want this closed up because it's going to try to cut through back here, and you don't want that. You only want it to cut through this top section, this flap. You just want that. All right, I'm being a good girl. I'm putting away my dies so that they don't get lost. Hi, Lenny. Let's see. Sue says, oh, okay. Sue says on her devices, she's noticed her iPhone is more orange and the TV is reddish. So that's interesting. I'm sure it all depends on what the device is, like the settings, what they're set to. And that's probably how it reads the color. I'm going to try one other thing. Hold on one second. Okay, I just changed the warmness to a cooler tone on one of my lights, and I'm just going to see. I'm watching for my iPad to catch up. I'm just going to see if that seems to make any difference. I don't know if it would, but yeah, I don't think it did. But anyway, okay, let's keep going with the card. So we can glue these two layers together. That's going to go on the front of our card. You could pop it up if you want to, but I popped up several of the flowers, so I didn't want this to be double extra thick. On the inside of the card, we can add this decal piece, but I'm going to show you one thing I did. After I colored and fussy cut this flower piece and I put it on there, it had a straight edge because, I don't know if you remember that piece that I showed you. So it came right out of here. So it had a straight edge and I didn't like it. So I decal cut that piece. So I think what I'll do is before this gets glued in, we will color whichever part of this, probably let's do this, and it'll go down here. And then, no, I don't know, I want it to show through, please hold. I want it to show through the circle. So I think it has to be that piece. Okay, we're going to color this, and then I'm going to lay it on top of here and re-decal cut the edge so that it's, see, I don't want that straight line on there. I want it, I think, yeah, I want it to be deckled. Am I blabbering too much? Sorry if I am. Let's color. You probably don't need to worry about what I was trying to figure out. I was just trying to figure out where I was going to cut this from and how I wanted it to look. So this is Sweet Sorbet. And I am just going to lightly, very lightly, do some random coloring on here. This is the fastest way. If you preferred to use your Stampin' Blends or markers or a different way to color and you wanted to go in great detail and add tons of definition and color, you most certainly can. You can take as long or as short of a time as you wish, and you can make it as detailed and as gorgeous as you wish. I am using blending brushes so that we are not here until dinner time, because then all of you might just leave me. Okay, so that's Mango Melody. And then for a dark hint of just some definition, this is Cherry Cobbler. And if you've watched any of my tutorials on blending brushes, you know that I like to use a really light hand, and I always tap off, swirl off a little bit, because if you don't, you're going to get one of those dark blobs right on your project, and then you're going to be sad because you really can't erase it. You can keep adding color, you can build it up and build it up and build it up. See, I'm getting darker and darker right there just for a little bit of pop of color. But you can't take it off once it's there. So you definitely want to swirl off some ink first, and don't put your finger in it like I just did. I'm getting them out of the way, so bear with me because I don't want to put my hand in there. Then the leaves, and you may, I don't know, did you notice, like, they're really bright. They're Parakeet Party. You may be thinking, holy cow, why didn't you use like Old Olive or something a little more subtle? Well, I think it's beautiful with this pop of color. I love bright colors. So even though our card is a little more like muted, a little vintagey, I'm fine with this beautiful pop of color. That's my choice. You could pick any color palette you wish. Oh, that's all the leaves. Wait, I think this is a leaf. Just checking. Here's one. Here's one. I think that's all the leaves. So that was light Parakeet Party, and then dark Parakeet Party. I'm just gonna do just a little bit of shading. This doesn't have to be a ton, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of realistic. And then I will blend quickly with the light Parakeet Party. And then we'll fussy cut. Oh, actually, gosh, that blended really beautifully. It goes on real nice with this paper. Sometimes when you color on designer paper, it's a different paper and it's not always the greatest with taking the color. So I am happy with this. Looks really good. Okay, I'm going to need to cut this piece out of here because this is too big to hold. Okay, much better. And if you are not a fan of fussy cutting, I'm sure you could just stamp and die cut straight from the stamp set, or you could skip this step. I just personally love to fussy cut, so it's like therapy to me, and I don't mind at all. A tip for fussy cutting though, oh, that's lovely. Somebody's using like a circular saw outside. I hope that's not bothering the sound. Anyway, a tip for fussy cutting, you want to do your best to keep this hand still. So my hand and my scissors are fairly still. And do you see how I'm just turning the paper? And also, if you try to cut from back here and you cut like about in this section, not really all the way to the tips, I find I have a better result and a little more control. Now that works for me. If something else works for you, that's totally fine. But you can see I'm really not moving my right hand. Okay. So, oops, I didn't do it all. Hang on, please hold. And I will look for comments in just a second because I definitely cannot concentrate on this and read comments at the same time. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with our deckled piece, that if you put this on, do you see how you have all this pretty decal and then you have this straight edge? And I didn't like that. Thank you, Gay. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. Thank you. So that's what I didn't like. And that's why on my first one, I grabbed the Deckled Rectangle again, even though I had cut this piece already. I glued these together and then I lined it up again and I cut it again so that I wouldn't have that straight edge. Now, probably I could just, I think I want this to kind of come off the edge like that. So you know what? I probably don't have to recut the rectangle. I think I can just cut the flower, right? Let's try that. I'm just going to cut this and then I can line it up with that edge. Okay, so please hold. I'll be right back. Just turning around to die cut. And I do want to show you this tip. When you die cut a square or a rectangle, try to always put it on your plate at an angle. The reason is when you go through the die cutting machine, it's going to hit that point and then it's going to give lots of equal pressure as you go through the machine. If you put it in this way, you're going to get that really loud ka-clunk when it hits this edge, and it's just going to have a split second to cut that whole thing. Then it's going to go through, and then you're going to have another ka-clunk when you get over here. So always try to angle it on your machine if you can. All right, so now let's see. Did we did it. See, now I can put this on and the little deckled edge matches. I think that's beautiful. I'm happy that I thought about that on my first one and then did it with you on this one. Oh my goodness, I don't know what they're building out there, but I hear hammers and saws and the whole 9 yards is happening outside. I don't know what's happening. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Judy. I'm glad you liked the tips. Good. Thanks, Linda. Alrighty. So now that goes inside. So I guess I kind of used a bigger flower. I don't really have a lot of room to write in here, but you can probably fit your writing in there. Just not a big long letter. So now look how pretty that is when you have this flap. Look at that. It's so pretty. These are Patty colors, by the way. Lots of people who, oops, got glue on myself. Lots of people who know me know what Patty colors are. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Good, Janet. I'm glad you liked the tip. All right. So now we are ready to work on these flowers. And I'm trying not to take up your entire day. I hope that you are okay to hang out for a few more minutes so you can see how we did those. If you caught the beginning, you know that I told you about this piece of designer paper from the Abigail Rose, and I showed you how this large die in the Cottage Flowers dies, or the Cottage Flower bundle, see, it cuts out all of those flowers and leaves at once, and that's what I used. So I went over this in the beginning. Sorry if it's a repeat, if you've been with me since the top of the hour. So that's what we're going to do. But I think I can get away with this. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking down here. So I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or maybe that was 8, 7 or 8 flowers and all those leaves out of this bottom section. And then I could always like fussy cut one of those if I needed another one, but I think that'll be enough. I don't think I need to die cut into the middle of this page. So I'm going to go ahead and color those the same way that I colored the flower for the inside. And this time I'm just going to start with Mango Melody. Doesn't really matter. You know, you can do whatever. And it's okay to go outside the lines of the flower. The only thing that you do not want to do is color like yellow or red on top of the leaves. So you know what? Maybe this might be smart. What if we color the leaves real quickly, just so they stand out, and just so I don't accidentally get the flower colors on them. I think that's smart. I think these are the leaves that are going to get cut. I can double check. If we put this on here. Oh, yeah, that one won't, but we can always cut it. Yep, so those are the leaves that will get cut. And now I won't be tempted to color on top of them sort of by accident. But see, it's okay if you go out here on the paper because that's going to be die cut away. And I'm just sort of dabbing these smaller ones. I don't really have room to swirl. Oh, and I forgot about this tip. Did you see this? Was it last week that I showed you this tip? If you leave your ink pad open, you have a place to set your brush and you don't have to worry about getting your tabletop or maybe your project or something. Because see, there's ink on there, right? You don't want that to get all over. I love that tip. I learned that from Sarah Douglas, the CEO of our company. So let's do that. Let's open up the Sweet Sorbet. And put some, I love these colors together. I know some people are much more partial to like the blues and purples and pinks. For me, it's yellows, and Mango Melody is just one of my very, very top favorite colors. And I don't really know why, because I don't own that color in my closet, or it's not in our house. But I just love that ink pad. And then this one is the Cherry Cobbler. And we'll just do some darker definition there with the cobbler. You could grab a sponge dauber. In fact, you know, I'll do that. I'll grab one and I'll show you that if you had trouble kind of getting in the smaller spots. Oh, that's Calypso Coral. Hang on. Here's Cherry Cobbler. All right. So you could grab a sponge dauber and get into those tighter spots with that if you wanted to. Let's see. What color? I think we need more sorbet. And then I think I would like a little more mango. I want some of them to be a little more intense and some of them to be a little softer. Because when you get them all layered like this, if everything is like really, really bold, then nothing stands out. If you have a darker and a lighter and a softer and a bolder, I like the way that that stands out. Oh, wait, was this one? Yep, I need this one too. What should that one be? What should that one be? That one should be, let's do a cobbler. Okay, so I think we have all of our parts, and I can die cut this, and then we'll just do our last finishing touch on this card. Kind of a lot going on, but I think this is one of those, it's really worth it. Oh my gosh, I think our power just flickered. That was kind of scary. Oh, that was crazy. Thank you, Robin. Let's see, hang on one second. I'm just going to, yes, I definitely could have cut both the rectangle and this inside piece at once, Kimberly, but I already had that idea and I had cut these and then I got the idea to add the flowers. So yeah, either way would work, definitely. Thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Linny. She says, take your time, we don't mind. Thank you, Susan. For later. Oh, that would work, Mary. Thank you. All right. So let's cut this so that we can finish up this card. Isn't this amazing how this die cuts all of this? I'm just trying to get all of them there. I think that's good. All right. So I'll die cut that. I'll leave you with that. And we'll have all our pieces. I do want to show you one more tip as well. Oh, oh dear, hang on. I'm trying to reach without knocking over the camera. I kind of like to put everything in a little jar so that I don't lose it. When I'm working with little pieces, I need them to be contained and not all over the world. Aren't they pretty though? I should have shown you those before I took it off. I want to show you one more thing before we finish this card, because for those of you who are going to click off and think we're done, you're going to miss this. This sample on page 56, it may not be obvious to you until you kind of study this, but I wanted to show you what they did. So this white piece right here is like this. I know it's not the same color, but it's this die that I just used, just simply die cut out of cardstock so that you have openings. Okay. But then what they did was they used that paper and they, okay, so do you see that's where it would line up? And you would have to cut a rectangle out of that designer paper, but especially if you pop this up, it looks really neat. And so that is what that card is just the white is just a die cut. It's laid on top of there, and then you can see through there. I think that's really cool. So just FYI. And then of course you have the little pieces that you could use. You could maybe stamp on them or color them with a blending brush, and then you have a whole other card idea to use. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked that idea, Donna, using the watercolor pencils to add depth. So glad you liked that. Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Let's see. Kathy says this die will also cut the 3 smaller stamped. Yes. And I think we talked about that on one of my previous videos, is that this one will cut that, and it will cut. Do you have to cut these one at a time? I thought it cut it at once. Huh. Oh yeah, right there. Sorry, right there. Those 3, it will cut those 3. Yes. I think I talked about that on, what happened to my other card? Yes, I did. When I did this card, this video on May 16th, I talked about that, because cutting out this flower with this die, you have to space this apart far enough, because see, if you stamp and die cut it, it's going to cut all that. So you have to be a little strategic, but I won't belabor that point. You can go back and watch that video on May 16th to see that tip, but thank you for that reminder. Okay. Thank you, Karen. She says my cards are stunning. That's such a compliment. Thank you. All right. So then we're just ready to finish this off. And I attached this piece, of course, only on the left side. You don't want any glue over here. So whatever is easier for you, if you want to pop this up, if you just want to use glue, if you want to put the glue here, if you want to put the glue here, just however your brain kind of works with this. So I am just going to, it really doesn't matter. I think I'll orient it about like that. So I am just going to put glue here on half of that, flip it over, not move that around horribly, wildly anywhere, and press down so that it's only going to stick on that left front flap. Okay, like that. And then we can decorate. So I used the pieces that I colored. And don't these look neat when they're colored? And they kind of they coordinate. Okay, you know what? This is popping up. So we're going to do this. There we go. When they coordinate, They're all in the same colors, but yet each one is different. Isn't that pretty? So we can just arrange these absolutely however we would like. I like some of them kind of coming off the edge. I don't want every single one of them to be within the circle. Oh, I see hearts. You are all so sweet. Thank you. Did you know that Facebook and YouTube love it when viewers give hearts? They love that because it lets them know that I am entertaining you with something that you enjoy. So maybe something like that. These, I swear, these are so tiny. Look at this. Look how little, but each one does its part, right? So then I would just glue and use dimensionals however I'd like, and then put this on like that. And that would be the card. So you would just arrange it. Do you want me to keep going or should we end? I don't want to keep you here forever. Let me know. Should I keep going and finish this, or do you? Oh, thank you. Gina Marie says it's her favorite card that I've ever done. That is so sweet of you. So sweet. Do you want me to keep going or do you get it? Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Nell. Thanks, Colleen and Arliss. Thank you. Marion says, I could watch you forever. You're sweet. Linny says, keep going. All right, let's just keep going. For those of you who have seen enough and you get it, thank you for watching. You will be able to get the dimensions that I showed you, and you can pin the project, get all the colors, pattystamps.com tomorrow. The supplies are actually on my blog today. So if you needed to see the supply list, you can go check right now, pattystamps.com. But if you want all the still photos and everything, check tomorrow and you can get all the dimensions tomorrow. And I do thank you for joining today. I thank you for joining every Friday. So glad that you are willing to give me your time and your feedback and your love. I think tweezers might be helpful. I think I would have rather tucked this under and then let the leaves go on. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then I want just a couple of these to be flat, and then I think we'll basically just pop up the rest of them to give some dimension. So let's grab dimensionals. And we'll just kind of line them up and get them ready. And then we can put them on. Oh, I might need mini dimensionals here. Do you think? Now there's people talking outside. I don't know what they're doing. Excuse my arm, everyone. I'm so sorry. All right, a mini. And then we can layer. Oh, here's one. One escaped. Okay, and I'm going to get this ready. I think I'll use a piece of, oh, I got to trim that down. A piece of foam adhesive because I love this. I love this way more than I love dimensionals. So I think I'll just get that ready so that I can kind of just have a sense of where I want my other pieces. That. And Okay, so that'll be about here. One of those. And that. And that. And then we have these two. I need tweezers. These are just itty bitty baby pieces. Oh, that was a lot of glue. Oh dear. That. And one more. And we finished this card. I love this card too. Thank you for your encouragement and your sweet words and your hearts and your comments. I appreciate you all. There we go. So we have two versions of this card, same papers. The only thing really that turned out a little differently was I used a bigger piece of the floral paper inside, so there's a little more going on in here with the flowers, but otherwise it's basically the same double circle fun fold card. And I hope you'll enjoy this. You can, again, like I said on my blog, pattystamps.com, you can see the supplies today. Tomorrow you can get all of the still photos and the dimensions and the oh, the pearls. Hang on, where'd I put the pearls? And all the supplies and everything tomorrow, which is, okay, for those of you who aren't watching live, tomorrow is June 4th. So I put a couple pearls over on this flap, and then I think we need just maybe 3 more here. Can you ever have too many pearls? I sort of think you can't. I think more pearls is always a good thing. So there. So then it kind of sprinkled them through. I like that. I think that's pretty. Oh, thank you. Yes, Patty, I agree. She said that it looked hard, but after watching me make it, it's not so difficult. And I agree. It really is not that hard, right? It's just the piece of cardstock scored twice, a hole, and you use that circle for the front, and then you're decorating. So yeah, really not too bad. And I'm thinking, gosh, any paper, any stamp set, any occasion, right? So I would love to know if you're going to make this with something else. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. So glad that you spent some time with me today. And I look forward to next week. We will have another project together on Friday. Be sure to check out pattystamps.com every day for more inspiration and information. If you need a catalog, if you need to place orders, I am happy to help you. So please let me know. You can use the contact button on my blog. Thanks, Janet. Thank you. Oh, a wedding card, Karen. This would be beautiful for a wedding. Yes, it would. And you could kind of change up these colors depending on the season or the wedding colors, the bride's colors. Thanks, Susan. Have a great weekend as well. I appreciate you all. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.